From today, October 1st, until Halloween 2019, I'll be doing scary stories daily on this channel. Today, I'll start off with the urban legend. It's called the Black-Eyed Children. Here's something you need to know about the Black-Eyed Children. They usually come in a pair, 2 to 3 at least, and they're aged from 6 to 16, 17. They're dressed in old-fashioned attire. They usually keep their heads down. The girls usually have bangs. So what do they want? They want to come into your home or to your car, but they need your permission. They need to hear "come in" or "yes, come on in." It is believed that they are body snatchers, vampires, demons, and many other things. Here are the stories that I found on Reddit and several blogs. Allegedly, all of these stories are true. Enjoy. 1. A man was camping alone in the woods near a beach. As he prepared a fire, he saw 2 young teenagers walk up to him and ask him if they could spend the night with him in his tent. He became terrified when he looked into their black eyes, so he ran away and hid inside his tent. The whole entire night, the 2 teenagers stood outside his tent, screaming and tapping on his tent. Even though they could easily get in the tent, they wanted his permission. They kept saying, "Can we come in? Allow us to come in." 2. A Marine heard a knock on his door one evening as he was about to go to sleep. He assumed it was his roommate, but it turned out there were 2 black-eyed children waiting for him at the door. Terrified, he slammed the door on them, but they kept knocking on his door and tapping his window throughout the night. The next day, he asked other Marines if they heard or saw anything. No one saw them except him. 3. A mother and daughter were going for a walk down the street when they heard this girl covering her eyes, screaming. The mother wanted to comfort the child. She hugged the child. The girl put her hands down. The woman saw her eyes, black as night. The mother grabbed her daughter and ran away. While running away, the woman and the daughter looked back, and there was no one there. The girl with the black eye had disappeared. 4. After accepting her recent job as a technician, a young woman arrived to work on an early morning shift. Since she was new, she didn't have the keys to get into the building. As she waited in the car for her coworker to show up with the keys to let her in, she saw 2 boys asking for a ride. Their faces were covered in hoods. She felt uneasy and fearful. She wasn't sure why these teenage boys were asking for a ride, because there was a bus stop right next to their building. She refused to give them a ride and told them no, and that made them angry. But all of a sudden they disappeared as her coworker arrived. 5. A woman named Adele was reading a book late evening when she heard a door knock and saw 2 kids outside her window. "Let us in," they said. Adele asked them why. "Let us use your bathroom." It was then Adele noticed their black eyes, so nervously she closed the door on the children. Some time passed and she heard a knock on her door. She looked out a peephole, and right there and then, it's like the girl was staring at her behind her bags. As Adele backed away from the door, she heard the girl say, "Let us in." Thankfully, Adele never opened the door, and a few minutes later, the children were no longer there. Last story. A teenage boy waited in his mother's car while she was in a hair salon. Nothing ordinary happened to him until a black-eyed boy went up to the teenager's window and said, "You must let me in." The teenager got so scared that he hid in the front seat, putting his head down until his mother returned. When she returned, she saw her scared son and asked what happened. After he told her what had happened, she said, "While I was inside getting a haircut, the black-eyed child came to her and asked for her car keys, and she refused to give it to him, so he ran out." I hope you liked this episode, and if you did, please give it a like and subscribe. I'll be doing this daily, like I said earlier in this episode, and tomorrow I'll be back with another story. Until then, take care.